Good everyone, and welcome to today's video. Today we're going to be taking a look at the AB-41 armoured car. This little Italian beast is what was added as part of 1.85 Supersonic, and well, it's a little beast when you play it right. I'm actually going to be doing this in two parts since I have spaded this vehicle already. But I'm going to show you a match that spaded the match that spaded the vehicle, and then afterwards another match in a separate video. So let's go over the little car first. So it's armed with a 20mm it's a 20mm cannon, and the fully upgraded belts are exactly the same as the Panzer II. However, to get this kind of gun, you do sacrifice a lot of things. One of those being armor. The armor is just 8mm thick on most surfaces of the vehicle, with the entry port on the rear which doesn't work, and this section here and this section here on the rear being the only exceptions other than the turret front. This vehicle will move pretty quickly. It's got an 80 horsepower engine, weighs 7.4 tons, and it's got a decent, good overall gearbox. It does shift rather well. The stock belts are not very good. It's APIT, then HE, which is not very helpful. But the 40mm of penetration should be sufficient at 1.0 to deal with most threats, other than the B1. The Perforante Mod 35 you can unlock. It's just pure APIT. It's a pretty good belt, but the second you get access to APCR or Panzer 40, use it. This is what makes the Panzer II so ridiculous, and putting it on an armoured car is even better. So what about mobility? Well, as I mentioned, it can go 48 forwards, but it can go 24 miles an hour in reverse. Very good maneuverability. I cannot fault it. This armoured car is also featured in Sniper Elite 4, which is an alright game. But this rear machine gun does work, and it's actually very simple to knock out this vehicle in that game, and it's very simple to knock out the vehicle in this game, because it has no armour. You shoot it anywhere and it will penetrate. It's got 4 crew members, however the rear machine gun, as I mentioned, does not work, which I don't see as a bad thing, but it would make sense for the vehicle to have this, since some vehicles do have rear-facing machine guns that do work, such as the SMK. But anyway, let's hop into the battle. So the match is on Jungle, and this was the spade match for the vehicle. I was missing the elevation drive, the tracks, tires, and the suspension. And I do pretty well this game. It's a short battle, but it gives me a chance to just quickly go over the armoured car, and then I'll do the spaded impressions. I'll quickly turn that down. And there we go. So let's get to the replay, shall we? So this little car does shift really well. I do like it for that. It maneuvers very nicely across most terrains. Normally I would push for the A-cap, but I decided against it. I decided to push up to one of my favourite spots, which I used in the Avenger when I spaded that, which is a British tank destroyer at 4.7, and that tank did well in this position, so I thought, why not try this thing? Now at this point I nearly do drown the engine. You have to be going quick to get across here. I almost drowned the engine. Luckily I got out with 1 second to spare, but do keep that in mind. You may drown your engine here. I recommend not trying that until you have at least the engine mods done. So here's the first target, AB-41. And I am a wrecking. Never carry full ammo in this thing. It goes up like a torch. So that's my first kill of the match. push up, there's an M1340 there. Series 2, which I'm pretty sure everyone has now. Excuse me, my throat's feeling really sore today. Now you do have 12 degrees of gun depression in this vehicle, which is very, very useful. Remember, you've got no armour. So I'll go for the AB-41 first. However, me being a muppet, I should have gone for the reload. Hence why I did not score the kill on the AB-41. But his friend behind him, I take him out. That's my third kill. And it turns out the... hang on. There must have been a server bug because I apparently killed the L333 even though I was cleared on the reload. That's strange. Never had that before. But anyway, I do some damage to that M13. That was a strange server replay bug. I've never had that before, but never mind. So here comes Iraf CZE. And he's coming back in a BA-65 attack aircraft. I know we've blown away a game. There's not really any enemy tanks that are able to be engaged from my position at the moment. But I do pick up an assist on that M1340. The first assist was most likely from the first AB-41 that I damaged. But with 12 degrees of gun depression, this vehicle does just fine here. The Avenger with its 10 did just fine. It's just this thing can actually back up. The Avenger was horrible when it comes to retreating. Since this can go half as fast backwards as it goes forwards, it's very useful for retreating if you need to. I was checking around me because I was getting very cautious of people potentially coming up behind me. Because there was tanks pushing around about here, and we were losing teammates. The BA-65 turns around, starts bombing and strafing our ground target with our tanks. So I'm pushing them, trying to spot something. This vehicle doesn't have spotting. I take a hit from the front. An M1340. But at the same time, the BA-65 has found my position. I fired a machine gun. I give him the 20mm, and down he goes. That's the only air kill I get this vehicle. I'm very happy with that, but now these two M1340s know my position. And obviously if I put back too far, that M1340 could potentially get a shot. So I call some RD on those M1340s. And if you notice, I was correct about my theory. There's tanks dying left and right here. That's why I was very cautious in this battle. We're up to technically 4 kills, so I'm pretty happy with this battle so far. There's another AB-41 who's clearly forgotten I'm here. And I take him out. The M1340 pulls back. I did lose a crew member when I took that shot from the front, but it was only the... I believe it was a loader, but the rear machine gun replaced him. This BA-65 for some reason just decided to sit here. Sorry. Oh, yeah. BA-65. I don't know why I thought else. But I was really getting cautious here because I wanted to see if I could spot and see if those M1340s had given up looking at me. So I could potentially pull out for a shot on them. As good as the gun depression is, you ain't getting that gun down. I spot this M1340 potentially pushing over my team. I decided I have to deal with him. And job done. That's the Pentagon up 40 for you. The APIT also contains a very small amount of explosive. Use that to your advantage. That was my only shell remaining. Oh, there. Yep, this server, or the replay, is playing up. Apparently I had more shells in the magazine than I did. But that's the end of the match. So overall, it's a great little armoured car. But obviously I will go over more in the Spaded impressions. Overall, get this thing. It is fantastic. Just don't get shot by anything bigger than a 30 cal. Hope you enjoyed today's video, and I'll catch you on the next one.